Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here to provide you with another Mandalorian Season 2 update, and as always to give you all of the news from a galaxy far, far away. We have some really exciting news as always guys, but before I get into it, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and also make sure you hit that notification bell to be alerted each and every time I post new content. You can expect daily Star Wars updates from me. Now without too much jibber jabber, let's get into it. So our first news article speaks about Ahsoka Tano, who is expected to show up in episode 5 of The Mandalorian Season 2. So this article is from Fansided and they state, The Mandalorian Season 2, what is Ahsoka Tano's role in the story? With the war against the Empire over, the point in The Mandalorian where we are about to meet Ahsoka could be sometime before she ends up finding Ezra, or possibly even long after. At this point, it's impossible to know that until a spin-off series is created. But what we do know about Ahsoka is this: she's one of the most powerful Force-sensitive beings in all of Star Wars. She is someone who can clearly provide answers about the child for the Mandalorian. Bear in mind she knew Yoda and might instantly recognize his species when she meets Baby Yoda. She may even be able to communicate with him through telekinesis or the Force. At the very least, Ahsoka is going to be able to provide Mando clarity about the species, his special ability to heal, and where he potentially came from. Ahsoka has major connections to Mandalorians as well. Obviously, she is in close contact with Bo-Katan Kryze, who is the one who sent Mando to her at the end of episode 3. She also has a very close connection with Sabine Wren, another Mandalorian who could be crucial to the story wherever she appears. Ahsoka can also connect Djarin potentially to Captain Rex, a clone trooper who was still alive after the Battle of Endor. One of the people who coveted the child along with the Imperial remnant was Dr. Pershing, who was wearing a Kaminoan uniform in his appearances early on in the show. Rex could help connect Mando and Ahsoka to the planet Kamino, where there may be other important cloning experiments taking place that need to be either shut down or at least monitored. One way or another, the introduction to Ahsoka is going to blow the can of worms wide open for Mando, who was once just a simple bounty hunter. He's now found himself in the middle of a very tangled web. With Ahsoka Tano in Season 2 guys, I think it's pretty obvious that we're not too sure at all how she's going to appear. We can make speculation and theories, but I think her closest connection in the season will be to the child. I think she'll help explain to Mando who the child is, why he has these powers, and she may even be able to find a link between Yoda, who she knew personally, and the child, who is obviously of the Yoda species. Now with theories and rumours, take everything with a pinch of salt, because ultimately we just don't know what's going to happen to Ahsoka or with Ahsoka in Season 2 until it's confirmed on our screens. But I am super excited to see her, what she's been up to, and of course just seeing Ahsoka in live action form will be a spectacle in and of itself. So now let's move on to our next article. This one is from CBR and it speaks about Moff Gideon's ulterior motives. It states the Mandalorian may have shed new light on Moff Gideon's master plan. The Mandalorian Season 1 quietly built Moff Gideon's influence early on, later revealing him to be one of the ones behind the hunt for the child in its final episode. Gideon became a force to be reckoned with, a ruthless killer as a former ISB agent. The final shot of the season put the darksaber in his hands, and it was clear why he'd become a major focus of the series. Now Season 2 is revealing more of what Moff Gideon brings in to bear, and that grim knowledge may hold clues of his future plans as the main villain and ruler of the Sith. Season 2 Episode 3 or Chapter 11 The Heiress picks up immediately after Chapter 10's frightening romp with Krykna spiders, giving the Frog Lady a much earned reunion with her partner and reminding Din Djarin why families are worth fighting for. But soft moments don't last in the rough parts of space, and after finally encountering the Mandalorians he's been seeking, Mando enlists for a raid on a departing Imperial freighter. We see Imperial officers and they're speaking to someone surprising, Moff Gideon. The camera is set behind the shoulder of the holo projection at first, but the voice is unmistakable. The freighter and its black market cargo is the newest reveal of the breadth of Gideon's armory. and it carries dire news for the Outer Rim worlds. Moff Gideon's final order to the captain and the chilling way he recites "Long live the Empire" illustrates a man who will claim his victory at all costs. Sacrificing vital resources without a second thought opens the question of what Gideon already has in his arsenal and how vast his plans really are. Gideon's endgame has frightening implications, being that he's clearly loyal to the idea of restoring the Empire. He's after the child. He tore the Darksaber from the hands of the Mandalore's rightful leader and left the planet in ruins. He's ambitious, murderous, and terrifying. It might be he already has a personal idea of who should lead a new, more militant empire with himself as the leader. But there is the question of if Moff Gideon was clued in to Emperor Palpatine's plans before the Death Star's fall, and that's possibly part of why the hunt for the child began in the first place. But if Moff Gideon seems otherwise uninterested in the importance of the Force beyond the child's acquisition, and is content to build his power through violence and fear instead, his actions bring General Grievous to mind, willing to wield symbols of power without caring for their meaning beyond the influence that they have. No matter what, Din Djarin seems destined to keep clashing with Moff Gideon. Now, while this article does sum up already what we know from seeing Chapter 11, it does make the good point of we're not too sure how powerful Moff Gideon is. Now, Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, has hinted at the fact that Moff Gideon is not only Force sensitive, but has learnt how to wield a lightsaber, or in this case, the Darksaber. And I think it'd be really cool to see a clash between him and Ahsoka. And ultimately, I think he's not given enough credit for just how powerful he is, and I can't wait to see him in full form, not just as a hologram, later on in Season 2, because ultimately he is the Force to be reckoned with when it comes to being the bad guy in this season of The Mandalorian. And so now we turn to an article from Comic Book, and this one says, "Old Star Wars debate reignited by The Mandalorian Season 2 concept art." In a piece of concept art from this week's episode of Mando, which ran over the episode's closing credits, there is a homage to Han and Greedo's fated duel. In a photo being widely shared online, you can see a mark on the cantina wall, seemingly still there from Greedo's missed shot. Given the fact that many Star Wars fans tend to dislike that change, it's entertaining to see The Mandalorian, which has been celebrated by that same group of fans, embrace it. Of course, it may also mean nothing except that they saw the opportunity to throw in an Easter egg and see how many people noticed it. One Redditor first noticed the scorch mark in the closing credits of the episode, posting it to the social platform side by side with a frame from Star Wars, and this is what it looks like. While people who worked on Star Wars have said that it was always George Lucas's intent to have Greedo shoot first, the way the moment read has long been seen as key to establishing Han Solo's quote-unquote bad boy anti-hero cred. That's a cred that's in full effect every week on The Mandalorian, although with a different lead, obviously. So that is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this update, and if you did, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and also please consider contributing to the channel by becoming a patron of mine on Patreon. For just $2 or $10 a month, you can get access to exclusive content that's not found here on YouTube. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.